questions?
No.
Councillors, we are back live streamed. Thank you, everyone. We are resuming the November Council meeting of Glamorgan Spring Bay Council at 3:45 p.m. at agenda item 8.6. During the break, we did take some technical advice from our senior officers. I would now request that Councillor Woods, as the mover of the original motion, close debate.
Thank you, Mayor Arnold. What a juicy one to get our teeth into in the first meeting of 3 new councillors. And I must say that the commentary and the debate around the table is pleasing to hear. And as the mover of the motion, I've closed debate and I ask the Mayor to put the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Woods. I will now put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Those against? Councillors Luck and McQueenie are against. The motion is carried 6-2. Thank you.
A point of order, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I'd like you to restate the position as I understand it to be an abstaining from a vote is in fact treated as a no vote. Is that correct?
That is correct. But I don't believe Councillor McQueenie abstained. She actually voted.
Voted no.
Is that right? Councillor McQueenie didn't abstain. She voted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. As Councillor Woods, that was a marathon matter for our very first meeting.
Good.
Agenda item 8.7, due to circumstances completely beyond our control, this matter needs to be deferred. I have a deferral motion, Councillor Woods.
Thank you. I'll move that 8.7 Tasmanian Planning Policy submission to consultation period, that council defers consideration of this matter until its ordinary council meeting to be held on Tuesday, the 13th of December, 2022.
And seconded by Councillor Young. Thank you. General Manager, do you wish to add anything about this deferral?
No, I think you've covered it, Madam Mayor.
Right.
It was an unforeseen and late set of circumstances that that's the reason for this deferral. I don't believe it puts council at risk in terms of any timeframes that need to be met. So I'm happy to defer to the 13th of December meeting.
Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 8.8 is the Bridges Asset Management Plan. There is a recommendation on page 50, I believe. Councillor Churchill.
I move the council adopts the asset management plan for Bridges and includes the plan's key information in the strategic asset management plan review.
Seconder, please. Seconder. Deputy Mayor Simons, thank you. Councillor Churchill, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, just briefly. I just wanted to say that I think that it's very appropriate from the reports that bridges be separated out from roads and taken as a separate asset class, because, you know, even with my limited knowledge, I would have imagined that bridges and roads deteriorate at a different rate and in a different way. So it's fair to consider them as a separate asset class, and it's probably normal practice in other councils and other planning authorities.
Thank you. Any other questions? A speaker against the motion? Any other speakers for the motion? Any comments? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. 8.9 is a community small grant application, the Bigeneau Bowls Club. There is a recommendation on page 53. Motion, please. Councillor Woods.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, but I should have had the page of the app to just give me one moment, if
Certainly.
if you don't mind.
No. Page 50, 53.
53.
You know, I've got the page, I just wanted the attachment.
Okay.
Mm.
Motion, councillor
Yeah,
Wood?
sorry. I'll move that council approve the application of the small community grant funding of, sorry. No, sorry, of $1,000
Mhm.
to the Bishno Bowls Club, Bowls and RSL Sub-Branch Incorporated for purchase of second-hand grass mower.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Simons, thank you. Councillor Woods, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, I would, if you don't mind, Mayor.
No, that's fine.
The recommendation was for $750. We very rarely get anything from the Bowls Club in Bishno and or RSL sub-branch. And given the fact that their previous mower lasted 30 years, I don't reckon we'll get another one for a little bit longer now. And
Well said,
So,
councillor Woods.
I mean, I think, you know, we have the discretion to up the ante financially, and I think that it's pertinent to the Bowls Club for us to show good faith in them and what they do for the community in sports wise. So that is why I put it up to 1,000.
Thank you. Is there a speaker against the motion? Councillor Simons, do you wish to? add
Just
anything?
concur with councillor Woods there. The Bowls Club have a bit to do with them and they do a brilliant job in our community in Bishno, and we'd be lost without them really, actually. So it's well worth it, I think.
Thank you. No further discussion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 8.10 is the another community grant application for the Bishno Community Church Committee. I note that Deputy Mayor Simons has declared an interest in this and is leaving the meeting. The recommendation is on page 56. A motion, please. Councillor Woods.
Thank you. I'll move a motion that council approve the application of small community grant funding for $793.20 to the Bishno Community Church Committee for display boards.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Luck, thank you. Councillor Woods, do you wish to speak to the motion?
That's pretty self-explanatory. It's that this group are a part of BCDA, and we do a lot of work with the BCDA in Bishno, and they're pretty switched on, and we do get quite a few applications as well. So I'm happy to support the $793.20 to be precise. And I wish them all the very best with regards to the upcoming celebrations of the church.
Is there a speaker against the motion? Further discussion? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Porch. Mayor, Council unanimously agreed to the application from the Bishno Community Church Committee for their display boards. Agenda item 8.11 is the late agenda item, the Stormwater Management Plan update. There is a recommendation on page 3 of the late report. Could I have a motion, please? Deputy Mayor Simons.
I'll move that council considers the identified needs for stormwater system improvements in an upcoming review of the long-term financial plan in order to provide effective stormwater drainage to urban areas.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Young, thank you. Councillor Simons, do you wish to speak to the motion?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's obviously something that we have a lot of problems with in our municipality, and if we can get some planning in order and the costs, I think it's going to be a good thing.
Councillor Young, do you have any comment? you
No,
wish to
Mayor,
make?
I don't.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Councillor Woods, then Councillor Churchill?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Thank you.
Councillor
Yep.
Woods?
Not before time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying, Mr. Porch. I'm speaking personally, and I think we can all speak personally with regards to the effect of the rain that we've had. No, the water's got nowhere to go. I can't play golf, and it's just not ideal. But no, in all seriousness, the community needs to see this, that we are actually doing something, because we are inundated with calls and complaints with regards to the amount of water that's not going anywhere, and everyone has to be heard, but there's nothing we can give them, because we're not in control of what comes out of the sky. It's an unusual event, and I think it's a good report, and it's about time for the community to see it.
Thank you, Councillor Woods. Councillor Churchill?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a couple of points. I think what we're seeing here is a very sensible approach to the management of one of the most difficult things that we have to deal with, or that our officers have to deal with as part of their operations. And this is effectively triaging the order in which the work is being listed and done, and it gives some reality to priorities, and it demonstrates that not every small water problem can be attended to immediately. It also points out the quite vast potential costs to council, to community over a long period of time, probably, but that $4.7 million is quite considerable, and it is possibly an underestimate of what is real to overcome a lot of these problems. And I think laying this out and a report like this to demonstrate to community that we are concerned about all of their concerns, but we have to prioritise the time and effort of our staff, and the financial input behind that has to be targeted. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Any other questions? Yes.
Go back again. Is that okay?
You may, Councillor
Thank you.
Woods.
This also, I think, gives us an opportunity to champion for our ratepayers that live on a state growth road. There's a lot of state growth roads. I won't go into them all, but we've got this here, and we're doing our bit. I think it's time that the state growth, they're crying poor too. Well, join the club. Everyone's poor, but we've got to find a way to be able to champion for our residents that state growth can pull their weight as well.
Mr. Port,
Comment, please.
Councillor Edwards.
On Councillor Woods' point, I did have a local MP down here the other day and showed him some problems in Orford, and those problems have been taken a lot further up the tree to relevant ministers who have received photographs and information that he gathered on the day. So I completely agree with Councillor Woods. When it's the state government's responsibility, we need to pressure them to take the responsibility. And so, yes, it's going up the tree.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Mr. Porch, before I ask Councillor Simons to close debate on this matter, is there anything that you would like to add to this report, given that it was a late agenda and having heard the comments of councillors?
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. I was asked a question earlier on by one of the councillors, which related to, how do we, at a high level, how do we determine, in a sense, what's in and what's out, and what council must respond to, and what council doesn't need to respond to, in a sense. And it's a matter of setting a level of service. What is the level of service that the community can expect from their stormwater system? The piece I've taken out of the legislation there, council must, in accordance with the objects of this Act, provide for such public stormwater systems as may be necessary to effectively drain the urban area of the council's municipal area. to effectively drain is the question. What we require of developers when they develop subdivisions is that their underground systems need to cope with a 1 in 20 year average return interval event, and that their overland systems need to accommodate a 1 in 100 year event. Many of our existing systems do not come anywhere near that. So if that were the measure by which we need to determine what our system should cope with, those systems previously adopted by council and operating in the system, our systems do not meet the standard.
Thank you, Mr. Porch. Deputy Mayor Simons, you moved the motion. Do you wish to close debate at all?
I have nothing more to add.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. There are no notices of motion. Agenda item 10, there are no petitions. Agenda item 11 is questions from councillors. 11.1 is questions on notice. There are none. 11.2, questions without notice by councillors. Councillors will recall that at our induction, we were told that questions without notice by councillors can only relate to matters that have appeared on the agenda. If there are any questions from that, I'm happy to take them now. Councillor Woods.
I'm trying to put this in a question form. Would it be appropriate, Madam Mayor, to congratulate council today on the debate that we've had with all things within the agenda?
I believe so. If you're happy to put that, congratulations, Councillor Woods, I'm happy to take it.
It's been most enjoyable.
Councillor Woods for that.
So Madam Mayor, that's quite important in the context of what the Mayor was saying we discussed at that induction. Council may want to consider renaming or even doing away with 11.2, because at the time the agenda items come up, as we saw today, we have the discussion, we have the questions asked, and as the point was made at our induction, why do we have this item, which is quite unusual, Glamorgan Spring Bay agenda as a standard item? So just something to think about. We can have it removed for the next meeting, or as you've just done, Councillor Woods, is have it changed to acknowledgement and not defined. It could be an acknowledgement of a councillor, it could be acknowledgement of staff, it could be whatever.
Community group.
Yep, community group, volunteers. So we could change it. We can change 11.2 to acknowledgement. It also brings a positive context into the meeting as well at the end.
So
Point of order, Madam Mayor. Does Councillor Woods' question warrant a response today now?
I think I just gave Councillor Woods the response that I was happy to take her question, and if she wanted to put the congratulations to the councillors, I was happy to receive it.
Do I have to second? Could I second it? I declare an interest because it's saying nice things.
I think we will take process as Councillor Woods has congratulated council for the way the first meeting has run, Councillor Young, and we should all be very proud of the way the meeting has gone forward today. So agenda item 12 is confidential items, closed session. We need to move into a closed session to deal with the minutes of the last closed session. So there is a recommendation on page 60. Can I have a motion, please? Councillor Woods, thank you.
I'll move that council moves into closed session at 4:04 p.m.
404. Is seconded, Councillor Young, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion's carried unanimously. Thank you.